Hello, it's me again, George. We're going to be talking today on a reflective practice, this is my e-portfolio. But we're going to go down to here and we're going to be discussing rubrics and Blackboard assessments. I utilize rubrics and Blackboard, so I'm going to go into Blackboard and I'm going to show you some of the rubrics. We'll go through this procedure. Okay, I'm in my Blackboard class, and this one was the one I'm doing currently now. And all my homework assignments and everything else is a rubric attached with Blackboard. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to show you my rubrics. These are all my rubrics that I have already incorporated. And this one here is for a different class. Grading rubric for blogs, so I already have those in there. For homework assignments, this one's worth 10 points. I have for my journals, let's go on this one, and we're just going to open up. And what my rubric basically has is all the information the student needs, the criteria. They're able to view it before I grade them. So when I have the assignment and they click on the assignment, the rubric's already in there. It tells them how many points, critical thinking, the timeless, and what's the points worth. And they have the ability to print this. All right. So that's one of them. The other one I like doing is for my article review. We discussed that earlier. Again, I have a rubrics in here. So I'm going to open this one up and then open. So you can see the rubrics that the student actually sees through here. Let me just make this a little bigger for you. So it has organization paragraph, quality information, how many points. It has mechanics of writing grammar. This is a rubric that encourages writing. That's written in a conceptual understanding, summary conclusions, and any business. You have executive summary and summary of visual aid. And this one here is basically for writing a presentation. And also, these are the article reviews that we talked about earlier, one of their assignments. And presentation, 5 points, 10 minutes or more. They get the 5 points, 10 points, and it's a total package that they get on that. So I'm going to close this. And again, they could always print this. Now, the next one is oral presentation. When they do an oral presentation for me, and this one is strictly just an oral presentation, and just you show the different rubrics depending on the classes. And the oral presentation with the rubrics, when I'm looking at, uh, I either have it separate or together. In this class, sometimes they'll do it separate, just a presentation on their own when they're individual presentations, not part of an article review. I'm looking at the voice, at the pronounce the words clearly. I'm looking at eye contact. I'm looking at physical delivery. I'm looking at content that they present, organization, and the visual aid. And the time, usually most of my presentations, 10 to 15 minutes. And again, they could print that. Okay. So the next one for business feature, team oral presentation. Again, let's look at this one. Again, that one's for 75 points. I'll open this up. And then the team presentation. Got most of my, again, the team voice, how they're doing as a group, team eye contact. So someone in the team, like you look at some of the videos, they have to all have eye contact and look like they're engaged with the PowerPoint. I used the example of when President Obama was up there and Joe Biden was in the State of the Union. He's fallen asleep. He's part of the team. He should have been up there visual on there. Team content and everything's together. Team organization is organized by the requirements with for class and visual team visual aids and 20 to 25 minutes plus question and answers. Again, the team could print this out when they submit their PowerPoints. This is what they're graded, and then also for the paper is a little different. Okay, so we close that. Oops, I hit the print by error. All right, just cancel that so you can see they could print it. Okay, so now I just close that off. And then the other thing is grading rubrics for discussion, oral presentation. That I had to make paper. Must be in the other one. All right. So we have everything I wanted. These are the rubrics I'm utilizing. I utilize this for everything. So they have that. Oh, here's the research paper. I'm sorry. Feasibility research. Again, for the research paper is worth 100. We'll open it up. And when they look at it, they have to, again, have the information, executive summary. They have the supportive header for each of the 7 headers as required. You have to look at the market analysis, the pricing, and advertising, and staffing, and recommendation, and citations, and everything else that's required in this. Okay? So I just close that out. And let's see what we have here. Hang on a second. Now this is another class I'm teaching, just for example. This is my strategic management classes, similar rubrics, but here I have a discussion board. If I look at the discussion board and I open that up, the rubric is set up on there. So the discussion board, what they basically have, okay, contributes to 3 or more. If I look at the rubric, it's similar. Is first post by Tuesday midnight. They're required. This discussion board contributes to 3 or more responding students. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is a requirement. Mechanics of writing, poor spelling, grammar should be at a college level. I'm not that big of a stickler on the discussion board if they have a few errors in the grammar, because it's more of a casual conversation, similar to emails, but I still want them to strive. Their paper has to be perfectly written, no grammar errors around that. Reference to the polls, creating community and critical thinking. Again, they could print this, so I'll just close this. I have grading for the comprehensive paper on this one here. Again, for my strategic management, just so you understand the different rubrics. I utilize rubrics a lot, so in the homework when they do it, open it up, and you have it. I don't want to open it up because I have the other student. Executive summary. So this one has 12 headers required, and the points, recommendation. All my papers have to have executive summary and a recommendation at the end. Why would you recommend this course of action? Reference, APA style reference. You have to have it 6. Grammar and spelling. Structure 2,000 more. This is for individual, fully online. Team concepts and terms got to be bolded on the line. Okay. Now the other thing I want you to look at. Let's see if I'm gonna go into here into the students mode. All right. Excuse me. And I'm gonna go into. I always have in here the Blackboard Collaborate Meeting Room weekly assignment. And I have the grades in here someplace listed on here. Oh yeah, current grades. The students are required to check the grades. They'll always see the grade items in here. This is their final grade that I got from my own class, a C. I guess I'm not too good of a student. This usually I will have as a current grade. This is since the class is already over. And the current grade, so they know exactly what to do. They have the homework, what's required. I only got 50 on my own paper. PowerPoint, I got 50. This one here, final presentation. I did not submit anything, so I didn't get any point. And a lot of times, if there's any kind of comments, like in here, when I look at the comments, I say today's Thursday, so no feedback on the discussion board. Need to post something ASP. I try to remind the students, to utilize a calendar, so they should do pretty good on this. Okay, and this is all how they get their what do you call it? Assessments, so they know what's going on. They always know the grade when it's due. My lab assignment, again, upload assignments. Here's a comment. This is one of the worst paper ever set myself. Only of article review form, no indication. I just wrote that as a comment to myself. Just a little bit wrong on here. Introduce yourself again on this one here. Today's Thursday. Didn't post anything. Remind the students so they have that. Upload week 1 assignment. What did I have on here? When I saw this house, excited, I was thinking how well the student did, not realize it was, and the house is supposed to be imposed, it was one of my own papers. Okay? So you have everything, you always had the total points, and they had the total points and the grade. So that's how I do it. Remember, I was using this as one of my test ones. I just playing around. I show students how to access this as a student in my preview. Let's see, Paul. This is my sports marketing course. What I have is weekly assignments online, and I just click on this for the document, and I'll open it up. It should open up pretty soon. And this is my weekly assignment, and enable, and I just make this so you could view it a little bit easier. Where the heck is it? View. And a page width. So they have the thing, they have to answer the questions, answer everything else. Here's the criteria. It's also not only does the rubric have it, but it's just your response to each question using a font. Complete the necessary research required in the assignment, and it's stated. Recommended sources, Harper's Library. Each assignment thought to be comprehensive, poor spelling. Cite all using APA format, and you have everything that you need in here. Each citation must be documented. document, here's the references, submit your assignment, and safe assignment by the end of the week. Again, they know exactly. I tried to get them with different ways of how they're being assessed for some of them, so they forget to click on it, but they'll do, they are very well informed. This was a strictly online class. Again, these are the discussion boards, the last discussion board in my sports marketing class. This is a smaller class. I had 10 participants, started off with 15. I guess I must give them a little bit too much homework that they expect. My class is very interactive. It's not just a few exams. So this is what they have to do, their papers, summarize your response from an exercise, the discussions, and everything else. If you're looking at this one, I have 11 students. Posts, this is not currently available, but you have the information. Look at the page, answer question 1, extra place new products in the area. They're supposed to, discussion, you have 2 for 1, your written assignments, including exercise. Just so you understand, I'm very interactive. You notice that there's 74 posts, and I respond to most of the students on the posting. This is a discussion in the marketing class. If you notice, the students do show their reflection. Here's me responding to the students. I respond to every student's post, no matter what, and give them feedback, what they're trying to do. I add it on, they respond back to me, and so we have the discussion going on there. This is my strategic management class, just so you understand how to get the information. Here's the assignment, how to upload it. Here's the possible point, and they get to view the rubrics. The rubric for the written assignment, what's required, organization, quality of information, mechanics, conceptual understanding, summary, sources, and internet uses. And this is probably this is before. The students, I believe the students should see the rubric, and after they do the homework assignment, then they get the rubric is how I grade to provide consistencies with the assessment so everyone is graded equally. Okay? So we have that. So that concludes my recording on how I assess students. It's through discussion boards. I'm very interactive with discussion boards as they post. Every student who posts, I always respond to their first initial post. The way it's set up in Blackboard, the students cannot look at the other students posting until they first respond to my post by Tuesday. If it's, they got to Monday to Sunday, by Tuesday to my post. After they respond to me, then they'll be able to view other students. What I found out that some students will basically wait to the end and not do the work, but listen to everybody else and kind of take a little bit here, take a little bit there, and and write up their paper, which has no research or data. So this way I know that it's their work. And then remember, I respond to everyone, and during your week I'll come back and in. I encourage students to respond to each other. In the grading book, when they do the form discussions, they'll have my responses or any kind of information or questions I want them to respond. And then in the grading, I'll say, you did this right, you did this wrong, or here's where you need improvement on. Part of Blackboard, they also have the rubrics included and everything else. And again, I'll contact them one-on-one and do a virtual meeting with the student by providing them some feedback. And we set up the meeting through Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And that's about it. So I think you have everything else. I didn't print anything else out because Blackboard with the rubrics kind of hard to print out. But you could print them out. Then I had to do a PDF file. I think it's just as easy for you to see this through my YouTube, and you could figure everything else. All right. Again, my name is Dr. George, and I hope this satisfies my e-portfolio. I remember I'm more of a visual. I like the written, but I think with the visual and the communication face-to-face, it means more to the students as it works forward. Okay, bye.